Hello everyone. Today's topic is looping. Difference between do while loop, and for loop. Basically, looping is the most important concept in Java. Looping is basically used when we need to we need to program or repeated number of lines in our program for some condition. For example, we need to print a number from 1 to 100. Then we print that in a loop, and given condition number is less than 100, then it print all the number. Basically, looping is a concept having advantages in Java is that it reduces the number of lines, it increases the performance, and reduce the number of lines code. For loop, while loop, and do while loop is only used when there is a condition that we need to repeat certain number of code in multiple time. Then we use a looping statements. For loop is most used in Java because for loop declaration of for loop is first we need to initialize the variables. For example, int I is equal to 0. Then we need to provide a conditions to tell what number of time our loop is repeated, and then we increment and decrement operator is specified. The syntax is for in bracket initialization colon semicolon condition, then semicolon increment decrement, and then curly bracket open, and then conditions the statement that we need to execute in a loop, and then curly bracket closed. And while loop is basically used when syntax of while loop is while, then condition, then statements that we need to execute in loop, and then increment decrement. While loop the statement is executed, and then increment and decrement. While do while loop is also known as and do while loop is execute at least one when the condition is satisfied or not. For example, in while loop do, then we execute the number of statements, and then in while loop we check for condition. That means it execute one and then it check the condition. That is a difference between for loop and while loop. Do while loop is a different. The another difference is for loop we firstly check the condition and then it execute all the statement, and also while loop firstly check the condition and then execute the number of lines lines of codes. For loop is basically used for loop is basically used when we need to execute certain number of condition, and it is used and the code is executed when the condition is satisfied. Also the while loop having a same condition, but it check for a condition and then it increment or decrement the operators. And do while loop when there is a condition that if the condition is satisfied or not, loop is execute at least one. Then while loop are basically used, but the most used are while loop and for loop are mostly used in Java. Thank you.